Hello everybody, and welcome back to the wonderful world of Space Engine. This is actually the beta version of the new update of 0.7.4, 9.7.4? I don't know. Either way, it's the same one I was using last time, but it's actually an improved version, and it's the beta version, so yeah. Somebody said that there were more like accretion, like the accretion disk on black holes look different and were more better, but I don't see much of a difference around here. And I'm seeing graphical glitches. That's wonderful. Uh, ooh, what's that? Companion that I don't remember. Let's check out these companions. Oh, the main sequence. Screw that. Anyways, we are going to explore this wonderful world of Space Engine some more, because why not? Actually, wait, before I get too much into this, I need to check first. Right, I almost started an episode without checking the comment to see where people wanted me to go. And I have one suggestion, which is IC1101. So, let's look for that. Ooh, Sagittarius A. Anyways, no. Let's see if I can find it. 1101. There you are. Galaxy. Apparently, it's one of the largest ones, so, boom. Well, it's an elliptical galaxy, so it's probably... Oh, Jesus Christ. Look at its diameter. Oh yeah, we've got quite the galaxy here. Well, let's meander around here then, shall we? Waiting for the stars to load in. Because the game has to do that. As it does. Let's go to this hypergiant while we wait, because why not? Go faster, 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 faster. Boom! Ooh, jeez. Well, you can tell this has some serious convection currents going on in its surface, because it's like a big boiling pot. Actually, if you ever watch a video of, ooh, the graphics. If you ever watch, and that lag, again, this is a beta, it's not exactly the most stable. And there will be, times when I have to quickly turn off Frap, turn it back on, because things will stop functioning properly. Anyways, if you look at video of the sun's surface, well, sped up, mind you, it looks like a boiling pot of water with, all these convection cells and currents and stuff. And that's because the energy transfer in a star actually behaves the same way as, as a boiling pot of fluid, because a star basically is a boiling pot of fluid. Like it's plasma, but yeah, it's technically a fluid. And with smaller stars, or at least more main sequence stars, the convection currents are quite small, so you have a very smooth-looking surface. Whereas some of these ones, like these hypergiants, you get these convection currents that are just so massive that each convection cell is like, a massive tumor on the side of the star, and the star basically behaves like a big ball of writhing plasma. It's quite fascinating, actually, but let's carry on to try to find more stars. I'm not seeing too many in this galaxy, and there should be a lot. Either not loading in, or, probably it's not loading in, because, the game has its problems. I love this game so much. Oh man, No Man's Sky has come out for pre-order. I am so looking forward to that. I have 2 months, and I will definitely be getting it. 3 with life, let's go there. But again, my finances right now are fairly split. I have, I have adult things, such as my bills and whatnot. And because my campaign is going very, very slowly, I also have my aerospace program, which is still entirely out of pocket. But on that note, we have, I say we, because there are other people who work on this with me. This isn't just me. It's like I'm the head of the whole thing, but I do have volunteers who help out sometimes for some things. Anyways, we recently got, in this case it was me, recently got our first research rocket, our first test rocket. It's not going to do too much, oh my god, that mouse sensitivity. It's not going to be quite, amazing or over the top or anything. It only can travel to, 3,000 feet, maximum altitude. But it has a fairly large payload section, and it's actually going to be used to test a lot of payloads and stuff for future rocket endeavors. Alright, let's look at this quickly. It's abiogenic marine, and it's organic unicellular. So that means that it evolved here, it's still in the ocean, and it's microscopic, but it's based on carbon. So it's very much like us. Now, keeping that in mind, let's find... there we go. Someone else to go play with. Yeah, actually, sorry, again, I stutter and just fall over myself because of, I don't English very well. Panspermia, subglacial, unicellular, organic. So this is also organic carbon-based unicellular, and it's not from this location. So there's a chance that it may have come from, well, it may have come from the other planet where it did develop. But before we make any bold assessments here, we have to quickly check something, because there's also a star, or planet here, that has life, and we have to make sure that we are not screwing up too hard. Now this is a binary, so there's some interesting aspects that may be going on here. And these are aerial life, so these are floaty stuff. And these are also panspermia. Alright, so we have one planet in the system where life arose, and 2 planets where life was brought here elsewhere. Now, that means there's a very good chance that the life on this planet and the last one we checked out originated on the first planet we saw with the marine unicellular stuff. And there goes the frame rate again. However, keep in mind that this planet orbits this star, whereas the other planets orbit this star, so this is a binary system. So the real question is, did these planets form, like, did these stars form next to each other and never left each other from their infant stellar nursery, or were they both, developed separately and then got close and got captured? Because if that was the case, then we have basically what is 2 solar systems trapped into one solar system. Whereas if they formed, the same, next to each other, then you could technically say it's all the same solar system because they all formed from the same material. So if it's the former, not the latter, where life for the stars met and got trapped, that means we have a solar system that would not have had life on it, that was graced with life, I should say. Because it managed to have the happy accident of coming into contact with another star system that actually had life already orbiting it. However, there is the idea that life may have been brought to it by a meteor from interstellar space, drifting for billions of years. However, that's it's not impossible, but it is very, very unlikely. It's like if you have life on one planet and then life on another planet, and it's panspermia, chances are it's cross-contamination between the 2 planets and not from interstellar. Oh, look at that, already have one with life. Beautiful. Anyways, what was I talking about? Right, my rockets. Yeah, the first rocket, it's going to be used to test equipment and payloads for the larger, more impressive, there we go, impressive rockets that we're going to be developing later on. So it's, it can only travel to 3,000 feet, so it's not going to be like, groundbreaking or anything, and none of the samples that it's going to be returning, it's like it will be testing a biological trap sample, or a sampling rig, and none of the samples that it's going to bring back from 3,000 feet are probably going to be of any interest because, well, we already know a lot about life distribution in the lower atmosphere. However, this trap, if it does work well, will be refined and then improved and used for the larger rockets for the near space environment. I'm talking just below and just above the Kármán line, because there's a lot of interesting. Well, it's an interesting boundary that doesn't have a lot of biological research on it, because nobody really thinks much about there being life in that region of the upper atmosphere, or even in the space environment above the Kármán line. However, there has been some, like a number of times, like samples were being removed and taken from the outside of the space station, where they find diatoms and plankton on the outside of the space station, and they don't know whether or not, like, where it came from, whether or not it was contaminant, on the module before being brought up to the station, or if it somehow floated up from the Earth, or where did it come from, or maybe even came from the space environment itself. So that's one of the things we plan on you know, exploring in this whole idea, because it really organic abiogenetic subglacier, so that means that it's original, because it really could actually open up some possibilities with the panspermia hypothesis, and possibly even, you know, finding evidence to support another mode of its of like how life could be transferred from planet to space. You know, like theoretically, it's like if we could find if we find Earthbound life in the upper atmosphere and in the near space environment, then it could show that life can, you know, very slowly diffuse up into space, and then probably get picked off the atmosphere and blown off by cosmic rays and whatnot, and basically just become part of the dust in the solar system, and possibly be transported to other planets in comets and stuff, or by other materials. So it's like the possibility that, you know, like that panspermia may also transfer material from planet to planet in a very I should say relaxed and slow fashion, instead of the usual fast of, you know, a meteor slams into a planet, shoots material into space, and that space slams into a planet. It's like, no, we're looking at like an alternative version of that. Like, I'm still fairly confident that life on Earth started here. I have nothing really to back that up. It's just more of a feeling, going off of the Earth's history and how. Actually, thinking about it, life started on Earth really quickly after it cooled, and that does suggest that life may have come elsewhere. And Mars did cool faster and was habitable faster. You see, that's the joy of science. Like you can have an idea. It's like I, for some reason, anyways, tend to kind of lean more towards life starting here. However, I can see the logic in it starting on Mars or Venus and coming here in the early history, because there's also evidence to support that. So, but that's the joy of the research with the sounding rocket program, is we want to see if life can diffuse up into space just through air currents and other things. I don't know. Kind of like how you can have like microscopic moisture droplets go up into the upper atmosphere and turn to ice just through diffusion and whatnot. So that's cool. We have our first rocket for that, and actually I'll put a picture up here on the screen so you can see what it looks like. It's not terribly big. It's only like a meter. It's a little over a meter tall, but it'll start flights anyways this summer, probably in a month or two. It all depends. I have some equipment coming for it that I need to install into the payload section, including the camera. The camera will be getting here at some point. I have the SD card for it that showed up today, which is exciting. And actually, the camera is also going to work on my my kite, so that'll also be exciting. So yeah, despite not having any monetary support from the campaign, the program is still moving along very slowly. But I don't just need monetary support. It's like the support I get from you guys, like just in written support or like the interest, actually does help a lot, because it's it helps keep myself and anyone else who helps out with the program motivated. The occasional, well, actually, I don't know, some people who just volunteer and stuff. We'll get there eventually. Space travel is not an easy thing. One with life. Excellent. On that note, this is actually interesting. China's planning, their next round of lunar probes, as well as, this is a really freaking bright star. Holy hell. As well as, what is this? As well as like a Mars mission where they actually want to send a probe that will, it'll be a mission that orbits, lands, and deploys a rover on Mars, and it's really like by 2020. That's really exciting. I'm looking forward to that. And like China is actually a really, like, they're going to be a big player in space here really soon, and they're actually developing quite fast and really well actually. And a lot of other countries work with them. Europe works with them. Germany specifically works with them a lot. Russia works with them. Canada's even works with them a little bit. However, the U.S. and NASA do not work with them, and NASA's actually not allowed to work with them because of a number of legislations passed passed by the government over the years that basically makes it so it's like, oh, you can't work with China because it's a security risk and this and that. And a lot of it's mostly just communist fear, and Cold War bullshit that really. It's like, don't give them. It's like you're not like. You can't really give them missile secrets because they already have their own ICBMs. If they really wanted to steal your missiles, they could do it already. And actually, and a lot of NASA engineers also agree with this stance that the blocking China from working with NASA is really counterproductive and just really stupid. And the Chinese Space Agency actually really wants to work with NASA. Like, China really wants to be a partner with NASA and do missions and stuff with them and all that partnership stuff. And of course, it'd be really good for relations and diplomacy. But again, the whole fearing communists and fearing the Chinese still plays a big part. So I really hope one day they actually get over themselves and allow NASA to work with China, because China's gonna be a really big player in the space development of our species, basically. So the quicker we all start working together on this topic, the sooner, the better off we'll all be. So yeah, that's just my opinion on that. Actually, there was a symposium on the Kepler mission, and they barred Chinese scientists from attending because there was a misprint in the legislation. So in protest, a number of NASA researchers actually pulled themselves and all their research and their research affiliates from from the symposium in protest of this, because it was just unfair and stupid. So it's again, both sides really want to work with one another, but they aren't allowed to because the U.S. government is afraid of the Chinese. Because it's better to, in their minds anyways, it's better to maintain a hostile relationship and view everyone as a potential enemy, instead of, trying to open up doorways to make them friends. Because, seriously, it's the most tactically sound thing ever. It's what's the best way to ensure someone won't attack you? It's make them your ally. You don't attack allies. It's just how it's seriously. Let's think of it this way. 200 years ago, the U.S. and the U.K. were at odds. In fact, War of Independence, and then the War of 1812. There was a lot of hostility there. But nowadays, they're allies and have been for a long time and work together. Imagine a war between the UK and the US. It's so unfathomably unthinkable that it just doesn't make no. There's really no real any real way you could see that happening in real life without really grasping at straws. So again, it's just if you really want to have a strong tactically sound situation, it's try to reduce the amount of enemies you have. But again, to them, it's all just a big game of civilization, where it's fun to have enemies because then you can bomb them whenever you want to. It's just stupid. It is just really stupid. But okay, enough of the politics. I just thought it was interesting that both China and NASA really want to work together on stuff, but the U.S. government will not let them. And it makes everyone sad, because that's really holding back some serious areas of development in the space sector. So it's China wants to build a radio observatory on the far side of the moon, which is a great place for one, because it'll be completely free from Earth contamination from radio waves. And it may sound kind of spooky. It's ooh, a base on the far side of the moon, but their intention is to build it and then let anyone use it. They want it to be an international research outpost that they just they're gonna build, but anyone can use it. But incidentally, if by then NASA is still not allowed to work with them, the U.S. isn't going to be allowed to use that radio telescope. So it's basically cutting off your nose to spite your face. It's you're going to have an opportunity to work on a really, really nice radio observatory, but they're not going to be able to unless they build their own, because you can't work with the Chinese. Whereas everyone else can. My country can. That makes me happy. Even the Russian cosmonauts on the space station talk about how it's despite the current political I guess the political landscape between Russia and the United States, relations in space are still very good, and it, like the space and working with Russia and the U.S. is still very very good. It's like you don't really have enemies in space. You don't. It's like a lot of the Earthbound troubles stay on Earth and don't leave the atmosphere. And that's how it should be. It's like you don't want to set up stuff. Like also, I was looking at pictures of like retro futurism, where it was like how like the 1950s and 40s viewed well the future. And there was this one. It was I think it was like from 1940 something, but it was like a lunar invasion base where you had like this base on the moon that had a bunch of like troop deploy rockets that at any given time you could push a button and send all these people back to Earth to invade whatever country you wanted. And it's like, that's a dreadful idea. I am so glad that the outer space treaties exist and have, and like, cooperation in space has been cooperation and not so much competition. Like, there's been a little bit of competition, like military competition in terms of like anti-satellite technology, but there hasn't been like serious issues with it. Cooperation is where it's at. We're all one species. We're all the same species. It's really, really dumb for one group of the same species to be getting mad at the other group of the same species just because they're on a different geographic location. It's like, yep, thumbs up. You're doing the species proud there. Oh well. We have a ways to go. But I have hope for the human race. I am not a misanthrope. I can see why some people are, but I couldn't be. I love the human race. I love our potential. And I love how we're actually getting over a lot of our problems. We still have a lot of problems, mind you, but at least we're getting over them. Slowly. But progress is progress. There's a lot of positives. Behind all the negatives, there are positives. Okay, that's 22 minutes. I should probably wrap it up there. Yeah. If you want to support my program, please check out the links below. Check out the website, the campaign. Donate if you can. Donations really would be helpful. Facebook page, you can like that. That also helps a lot. Like and share. Just help get the word out. Actually, once I start, stuttering again. I talk too fast. Once we get the larger sounding rocket program off the ground, no pun intended, we're actually going to be looking at support from universities and possible grants to help with that. So that'll be pretty great. But of course, the more backing we have before then, the better our chances of succeeding. And I'll also be working with the provincial government and Transport Canada on those flights because nothing I do will be illegal, and it has to all be by the books because I do not want to step on any toes. Working with an experimental engine on a high-powered rocket, I want to make sure that I do everything by the books and make sure that I don't screw anything up. Remember, kids, you can do science and stuff, but don't. If you're doing major stuff, don't do it illegally. Always get permission. Always get permission. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Check out the links below. There'll be more. Also, there's been an update to Species, so I'll be doing another video of that real soon. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful Earth Day, as it should be when I upload this, 12:52 a.m. on April 22nd. Yes, it is Earth Day. Happy Earth Day to all my Terran friends and family and all my subscribers. I hope you have a good one. Thank you all for watching, and space.